Hello everyone, Time to Grind here, and today I wanted to talk about Quantum League. And Quantum League is a mind-blowing, revolutionary, new early access FPS game where you pretty much are like time traveling and you team up with your past and future selves in 1v1 or 2v2 matches. And the game is a little confusing and overwhelming at first, so I'm going to do my best to explain how it works at a basic level. So it spawns you in an arena with your opponent, and you both just start out as normal, and you pick whatever weapon you want out of 5 different weapons. There's a rifle, which is kind of just like a semi-auto, almost like a sniper. There's an SMG, a shotgun, a grenade launcher, and a laser gun, and then everybody has a secondary pistol. And each round is only 18 seconds, and once the timer goes out, the time stops and rewinds, and a new time loop starts. And in that, time loop that you play in, you could kill the enemy and they can also kill you. And if you get killed, you get desynced. And when you get desynced, you kind of just become a ghost and you keep controlling your character as if they were alive. Because say in a future time loop, if something kills the person that killed you, you don't actually die in that future timeline. So you would just continue doing what you are doing as a ghost. So as a ghost, you could, just shoot down the middle and, try to kill someone if you think they're going to get revived, or you could run to the control point and, just kind of set things up for in future timelines if you think you'll be able to let that person live. There's also health bubbles all around the map, and if you pick them up when you're alive, you pretty much just regen to full health, and if you pick them up when you're desynced, you actually respawn in that time loop right where the health orb was. And so once the time is up, everyone gets rewinded and the second time loop starts. And both you and your opponent's previous selves appear on the field, and they do the exact same thing they did previously, but you can still interact with them. So say the last version of the, enemy killed the last version of yourself. Well, if you killed that enemy before they killed your previous self, then your previous self won't die in that timeline. And you do this for another 18 seconds, and then you rewind, and for the third and last time, you do a time loop. And so for both game modes, this last round is one of the most important. So in the control point game mode, whoever is actually holding the control point at the end of the last time loop wins. So say you're controlling the control point on the second time loop, you still really need to protect and work hard because you need to protect that version in the third time loop, because they could easily just kill them and take over. So all that matters is controlling the control point on the last time loop and kind of just setting yourself up for success on that last time loop. The other game mode is kind of just like a death match, and so on the third time loop, whoever wins is whoever has more versions of yourself alive than the opponent. So if you, killed 2 versions of the opponent and they only killed 1 version of you, you're going to win that point. And so, in casual, it's first person to 2, and then in ranked, it's first, person to 3. And so the game might be just a little bit hard to grasp just by watching the gameplay, and it definitely was for me. But after I played the game for about an hour, I kind of started getting a good grasp on the game and started, learning strategies and tips and stuff. I kind of started treating my past selves as just teammates in a multiplayer game, except they were ones that I knew exactly what they were doing. So just as an example, some of the things I started doing was in the first round, say I did really, really good and I ended the time loop, on the control point, if I was playing control point. On the last round, I might actually just, pick the sniper and just protect the people because they're already on the control point. Or say you're on loop 2 and in the first loop, the enemy rushed me just really hard. I might choose a shotgun to actually try to clear them out because it's really easy to take out previous, enemy versions because they're not paying attention to you currently. They're paying attention to past versions of you. And that goes both ways. You got to protect your guys because the enemy can easily kill the past versions of yourselves. And I think that's also why the last time loop matters a lot. And so you're constantly needing to think about what both you and the enemy previously did. And that's what makes this game one of the most unique FPS games I have ever played. There's also also a 2v2 mode, which is played on a much larger map, and it is definitely a lot more chaotic than the 1v1s, but there is actually a lot of fun to be had in it. The maps are really well designed in this game. My favorite was this 1v1 map that had a control point on one side of the map, and then it spawned both players on the other side of the map with kind of like a little barrier, and then there were like 3 different levels. And so it was really interesting because you had to fight each other while running to the control point because, you know, that's obviously important. And it just played differently than a lot of the other ones. There was also this map that had a lot of verticality to it that I really liked, and snipers were really good on. And it feels like the maps kind of do a good balanced job on, you know, some weapons are just better than other weapons on certain maps, but it seems like a lot of them are good on, you know, different situations and scenarios, which I really, really like. The gunplay itself isn't the best shooting I have ever played in my life. I am a pretty big snob when it comes to FPS games, though, and I don't think this gunplay is the worst. I just don't think it's the best. It feels like kind of a mixture of like Overwatch and Fortnite a little bit, and I think part of the problem might be like the sound design. Just when I'm firing weapons, they don't feel like they have a ton of impact. And kind of going back and listening to some of the gameplay, I do think it might be due to the sound design. Like the theme and the art style of the game, I really like. And it just looks very clean and polished. But in my opinion, the sound design could use some work. In terms of progression and cosmetics, there are cosmetics you can unlock with in-game currency. There's also like this Season 0 Battle Pass that everybody just automatically gets. And you also get some cool cosmetics for getting to certain ranks, which is pretty cool. I like them all not just being, you can buy them. You know, I like having something you actually have to work towards. And the cosmetics are all mainly just skins for different characters in the game, and the different characters are only like cosmetic. There's no like abilities or ultimates. That would make this game even more confusing. I will say though that some of these cosmetics, they're not the most impressive. I wish they would have focused a little bit more on making a handful of them like really, really good than just having a ton of cosmetics, because it kind of does the thing where Overwatch does, where there's all these different rarities and some of them are just reskins of others. And a lot of them, I don't think most players will use at all. And it's not like there's loot boxes in this game. So in Overwatch, you had all these terrible skins to kind of, you know, be filler for the loot boxes. But there's not loot boxes in this game. So there's a long list of cosmetics, most of which won't be bought probably by anybody. But, you know, some of them are really cool. And overall, this game feels surprisingly polished for an early access game. It does seem like the devs focused on just making the game and the gameplay as polished as possible, and I really hope that now they're mainly going to be working on making more content for the game. You know, there's only a handful of maps and a handful of game modes, and, you know, some of the things like the 2v2 game mode, it only has one map, I believe. It has like a night and day version of the same map, and I think that is something that this game could really, really use to help prevent it from getting stale. There's also a ranked game mode for those of you that want to just, you know, keep on playing the game and getting better and better and playing the game a ton. But for me personally, I don't know if I could see myself playing this game for, you know, hundreds of hours. I'm not saying it's because the game's bad or because there isn't enough depth to it. This is like, I mean, there are probably scenarios where you could have like 10,000 IQ and just, you know, make some super big brain plays. But I mainly see it as a game that you just buy, you know, you maybe spend 20, 40 hours in it, and you have a ton of fun in that, you know, time frame, because this game is super crazy fun and cool and unique and just mind-boggling, and it's really interesting, and I think that's why they put a price on it. You know, obviously it's an early access, so there will be more content that will probably keep players coming back and back, but with having a price tag, that's kind of my only potential concern with the game, is like a possible low player count. You know, as of making this video, the day one it came out in early access, it seems like there's a lot of people that bought it and played it, and the queue times for most of the game modes were okay. I could not play any ranked 2v2 just no matter how long I queued. I don't know if it was just when I was playing, but you know, for the most part you can get in matches, but there's not a lot of great examples of indie FPS games that charge money succeeding, and I think this might be a little bit different because, you know, it consists of only 1v1s and 2v2s, and most people are wanting to buy it because of the gimmick, not because they're looking for the next big FPS game to, you know, drop 1,000 hours in. And so I think it could be okay. That is just kind of my only concern. But overall, Quantum League is one of the most innovative and just fascinating FPS games I have played in a long time. And even though it's in early access right now, it has a crazy amount of polish. So I would really recommend getting this game if you just want to experience how these weird time travel mechanics actually play out in a game, because it is very interesting. But I would definitely focus on getting the game more for that than like wanting a new competitive, you know, FPS game to, you know, dedicate thousands of hours. And I don't know if it has like that amount of, you know, lifespan, but we will see. It's in early access. I can't wait to see what keeps getting added to this game, and it was a lot of fun, so definitely check it out. But if you have played this game or just from watching gameplay of it, I would love to know your guys' thoughts on it. Let me know in the comments down below. I love trying to respond to as many of you guys as possible, and if you enjoyed this video, then consider leaving a like down below and subscribing to see more content. New videos come out twice a week. I review just a wide variety of games. So, you know, definitely subscribe to see more of that. And if you are having a great day today, I hope you continue having a great day. If you guys aren't having a great day, I hope you guys start having a great day. But either way, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. See you guys next time.